Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Can you all hear me and see the screen clearly and properly? Yes, give me thumbs up on the chat box. So let's get move with this super amazing and a super cool lecture on sixth lecture on digestion and absorption. Yes. So guys, here the network is very poor. Actually, I was facing so much difficulty with this network. So in between, if the audio breaks, so please let me know it through the chat box. Okay, otherwise I would be continuously taking out the classes, and because I have reduced the volume of the device in which I'm going to read the chats. Yes, good afternoon, Bhumi, Yamini, Amit, everybody, good afternoon. So today's topic is all about digestion of food and disorders of the digestive system. So let's get started with the same. Those who are watching the session, don't forget to hit the like button, do share it with your friends and subscribe the amazing platform for more lectures on biology NEET. Give me hearts on the screen if everything is perfectly clear, if the audio, video, everything is perfectly and amazingly clear for everybody. Give me hearts on the screen. Come on. Come on, everyone. So let's get started. What about the others? Guys, is the audio and video perfectly clear for everyone? Yes, thank you so much. So today's topic is all about the absorption of digested product. So guys, in the last class, we have learned what we have learned in the last class. In the last class, we have learned that glucose, carbohydrate product, then amino acids, subunits of proteins, fatty acids, and glycerol, fatty acids and glycerol. So all these things were the digestion product after the process of digestion. So in today's lecture, we would be learning about the absorption of digested product. So guys, as I've already informed in the group, next 3 days, you're going to have a 3 days complete Menti challenge. Okay, so stay tuned for the same. Stay tuned. Do join for that. Prepare the chapter and do well for the test. Okay, everyone. Hope everybody is able to understand everything and you are revising it objective for and for subjective test also. Yes. So we would be having one more lecture. Okay, the next lecture we would be having two lectures all together for digestion and absorption. That is, one would be an NCRT marking series. One would be an NCRT marking series completely, and the next one is the deficiency syndrome. That is a deficiency of vitamins and a Menti quiz. Okay, deficiency disorders plus a Menti quiz. Previous year questions of this chapter would be included. Okay, done. Done, everybody. Done. Why are you guys all sleeping or listening, writing, or whatever is happening at the backside? I don't know. Yes, is it clear? Guys, if you respond only, the class would be somewhat at least good. Otherwise, it would be like something else. Thank you so much. So, guys, digestion of food. Okay, absorption of digested products. What do you mean by absorption? Absorption is the transfer of end products of digestion from the intestine to the circulatory fluid. That is, it can either be blood or it can be lymph. So, the process of transfer of the end product of digestion from intestine to the circulatory fluids, you will call them as the process of absorption. So guys, listen very carefully. Absorption can be mainly of two types, that is passive absorption and active absorption. Okay, so guys, you have to understand what is the meaning of passive absorption and what is active absorption. Guys, the term passive absorption means there is no expenditure of energy. Okay, there is no expenditure of energy in case of passive absorption, whereas in active absorption there is an expenditure of energy in the form of ATP. Okay, guys, is the audio perfect? Is the audio perfect? Yes. So guys, passive absorption can be what you have studied in your lower classes, which is osmosis and diffusion. Exactly like that. You will have simple diffusion and facilitated diffusion. Okay. Yes. Okay. So absorption can be of two types. It can be passive absorption. It can be active absorption. Passive absorption consists of osmosis and diffusion. Diffusion can be again of two types, that is simple diffusion and facilitated diffusion. So let's first of all discuss about the passive absorption or the passive transport. Okay, so guys, absorption of nutrients from highly concentrated region. Okay, from high concentration to low concentration without the expenditure of energy is known as passive transport. Done. So movement of particles from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration without the use of energy. There is no usage of energy. Okay, it includes osmosis. What do you mean by osmosis? Osmosis is the process by which the water and all the solvent particles are absorbed. Okay, osmosis is the process by which the solvent particles are absorbed, whereas diffusion is the process by which absorption of solute molecules also takes place. Clear? Only Yamini and Amitva is there in the class. As per your wish, no issues. Okay, so guys, diffusion means the molecules from the higher concentration will pass to the lower concentration without any kind of energy utilization or whatever. But in case of facilitated, there has to be something has to facilitate, right? And that facilitate, you will call them as carrier molecule. Okay, that you will call them as the carrier molecules. Okay, clear everybody? So passive absorption is clear. Next, that consists of diffusion and osmosis. Diffusion is for the solute particle, osmosis is for the solvent particles. You can count it out. So in case of diffusion, it is of two types, that is the simple diffusion and facilitated diffusion. Okay, simple diffusion is there and facilitated diffusion is there. Clear? Is it clear? Yes. One second, let me check it out. Look, we have this much of slides to complete. Okay, so listen very carefully. Simple diffusion and facilitated diffusion. Simple diffusion means the molecules alone can be diffused. There is no need of any carrier proteins or carriers. Example. So guys, this is a previous year question. They'll ask you, okay, for your board exams also, they will ask you what all are the different components in food that are absorbed into our body by simple diffusion. Small amounts of monosaccharides like glucose, amino acids, vitamins, certain electrolytes like Cl minus, all these are absorbed into our body through the process of symbol diffusion. Okay, by the process of symbol diffusion, molecules alone can be diffused. Small amount of monosaccharides like glucose, amino acid, vitamins, electrolytes like Cl minus, etc. And at the same time, facilitated diffusion means diffusion is with the help of carrier protein. Look, I have already told you, it is with the help of carrier protein. This is the carrier protein. This blue colored region, it is the carrier protein. So that process you will call them as a facilitated diffusion, whereas simply if the particle move across a membrane, you will call them as the diffusion. So diffusion and facilitated diffusion are two processes that comes under passive transport itself. So glucose and amino acids are mainly transported by the facilitated diffusion. Done? Next is the active transport. That is the active absorption, you can call them as. Absorption of nutrients, guys. Active transport means generally if you kept something at a higher concentration, it will automatically flow into the lower concentration. That is a general trend. Whereas in active transport, what you can say is like they will form in the opposite direction. Okay, in case of active transport, it flows from lower concentrated region to higher concentrated region, which is referred to as the active transport. So absorption of nutrients from lower concentrated region to higher concentration region, that is against the concentration gradient, that is it needs energy which is utilized in the form of ATP. Absorption of amino acids, monosaccharides like glucose, electrolytes like sodium plus, that is Na plus ions are absorbed by the process of active absorption. Give me hearts on the screen if each and every term is clear. That is Na plus ions are absorbed. Give me hearts on the screen if each and every word, sentence, everything is clear. Only one? Very good. Yes. So that's all about the active absorption, passive absorption. Guys, listen very carefully. Okay, listen very carefully. That is, if a particle is flowing from lower concentrated region to a higher concentration gradient, you will call them as against the concentration gradient. What you will call them as? Against the concentration gradient. You will call them as against the concentration gradient. But look over here. If it is flowing from a high concentrated region to a low concentrated region, it is along the concentration gradient. Clear? I hope it's clear. It's actually thunder is being, you may hear the sounds. It's gonna heavily rain, I think. That's why I told you from the morning onwards, the network was not at all stable. Then also I managed not to miss your class because I have been not there till for the past 2 or 3 days. I have not taken any classes for you. That's why just anyway, just put for the same. Yes. So you have to take it down from high to lower concentration. It is along the concentration gradient. But if it is from low to high concentration, then it is against the concentration gradient. So guys, everything is simple. But here it is very, very important as well. That is absorption monoglycerides, diglycerides and fatty acids cannot be absorbed directly as they are water insoluble. Guys, Fats are generally insoluble in water. Okay, that is monoglycerides, diglycerides, fatty acid cannot be directly absorbed because they are water insoluble. They are insoluble in water. Clear? The bile salt and phospholipids convert them into small spherical water soluble droplets, which is known as micellae. The phospholipid, that is phosphorus plus the lipid, along with the bile salt which is present in the bile juice of the liver, it actually converts these fatty globules or these fat globules into simple absorbable water soluble components, which is known as the micellae. Guys, you have to pay special attention. You have to pay attention. I don't know why you are not responding. That is actually meaning you are not understanding. What should I believe? Are you understanding the topic and you are keeping quiet since you are writing the notes, or since you are not at all understanding anything, you are keeping quiet simply? What is actually the condition happening? Tell me. Actually, this chat box is the only way by which I can communicate with you. I'm not actually seeing you or making you say something or whatever. I don't know whether you are writing something or you're eating and attending the class or whatever. Just tell me something or interact with me on the chat box. Otherwise, I'm gonna, the thing is to end the class. That would be the most better thing. I don't know why. Is it my network issue that I'm not receiving any chats? No, why? Nobody is not commenting anything. First of all, anybody just comment something. Look, we have this much of slides to complete. Yes. So they are reformed into small protein fat globules. So we already learned that the fats are actually converted into, actually they are coated with protein. Okay, they are coated proteins to form chylomicron. They are transported into the lacteal. We studied like the capillary. Okay, the lymph vessel, the lymph inside the villi, you will call them as the lacteal. From the villi, the chylomicrons enter the blood. So what is micellae? When micellae are coated with protein, or when the fat globules are coated with protein, you will call them as the chylomicron. You will call them as what? You will call them as the chylomicron, or else the water soluble small droplets which is formed. You will call them as what? You will call them as the micellae. Clear? Clear? Guys, don't talk, okay? Don't talk. So in the mouth itself, that's why we take them through the mouth. Or simply you might have heard certain medicines without swallowing, they have to be what, they have to be chewed and they have to be absorbed, then they'll be directly absorbed. Medicines like that. So those medicines, okay, such then when it is coming into case of the stomach, you may have certain water, sugar, and some drugs and alcohol will be absorbed when it reaches the stomach. It won't be absorbed, and certain medicines can be directly absorbed from the large intestine also. Okay, certain are easily digested from the rectum is there, from the digestive system is there. Okay, different parts, they will be absorbed from the different parts of the digestive system as concerned. So there are certain drugs which can be easily be absorbed from the mouth. There are certain drugs, medicines, then alcohol, water, and simple sugars which can be directly absorbed from the stomach. All nutrients, including the vitamins and minerals, can be absorbed from the small intestine, and water, some minerals, and certain drugs are easily or absorbed mainly from the large intestine. Clear? Small intestine, it is a chief area of absorption. The presence of villi increases the surface area of the stomach. Okay, guys, this is the villi. So the presence of villi, it increases the surface area of the stomach, small intestine. Its great length and the coiled nature would help them absorb the substances very easily. The absorbed materials are incorporated into the tissues for their activity. So the utilization of the absorbed product, you will call them as the assimilation. What do you mean assimilation? The process of utilization, of the absorbed product, you will call them as the absorption. Undigested substances like the plant fibers, dead bacteria, etc. form the fecus. It enters the cecum through the ileocecal valve, which prevents the backflow of the fecus. Thus, fecus are temporarily stored in rectum and are eliminated through the anus. That process you will call them as egestion or defecation. So guys, we have studied about the process of ingestion. That is how the food has to be taken in. Then we told about digestion. The digestion of different components separately we have learned. After digestion, we learned about the process of absorption. Then we learned about the process of assimilation. And finally, we studied right now about the process of egestion also. So from ingestion to egestion, all the process we have discussed in detail. Clear? I hope you can understand. Yes. Next, the last topic of the chapter, which is the disorders of the digestive system. So guys, I would be discussing, to you some of, first of all, let me tell you, we would be first of all discussing about the jaundice. Okay. After that, we will be discussing about the vomiting. Third one is about the diarrhea. Fourth is about the constipation. Next is indigestion. So these would be the topic which we would be discussing up to in today's class. I have told you there would be one more class based upon the deficiency diseases, deficiency disorders in the human body associated with the deficiency of vitamins and minerals. At those points, up to here is the content in your NCRT according to the old edition of NCRT. But as per the new NCRT, there is 3 more additional disorders which have to be adding. That is a protein energy malnutrition, okay, marasmus and kwashiorkor. Okay, protein energy malnutrition, kwashiorkor and marasmus are 3 disorders which have been added in the new NCRT, which I would be discussing to you in the next class. Okay, are you all ready to start discussing with this content? Ready everybody? So let's get started. Guys, jaundice means it indicates liver damage. Okay, jaundice indicates liver damage. Here the skin and the eye turns yellow due to the deposition of bile pigments. Okay, due to the deposition of this bile pigments, that is bilirubin and biliverdin, the eyes, the skin, everything turns what? Yellow in color. Okay, so that is what is referred to as the jaundice. You'll also call them as, in certain cases, you will call them as hepatitis also. Yellowing of the skin and eyes is the symptom. Next is vomiting. All of us might have experienced the vomiting. Actually, it is actually the ejection of the stomach content through the mouth itself. That is by a process of reverse peristalsis. By a process of reverse peristalsis. All the contents which have to be ejected through the anus, they would be actually ejected through the mouth itself. The undigested food material, they won't be completely digested even. They might be actually broken down into simpler products and they would be mixed with all those digestive enzymes, juice, everything. So instead of removing them through the anus, a reverse peristalsis process may occur and it may come through the mouth itself. And that particular condition is controlled. The vomiting is actually a condition which is controlled by the medulla oblongata, which is the previous year MCQ question. Okay, medulla oblongata is a part of the brain. Clear? Next is diarrhea. Frequent elimination of watery fecus. So fecus elimination will be in the form of a liquid. Okay, it will be in the form of a liquid. It reduces the absorption of food. So the water and all won't be digested. That is, the water and all will not be absorbed into the body. So due to the lack of absorption, what happens? The watery fecus is formed by the lack of absorption in the food. Next is constipation. It is an infrequent elimination of dry stool. That is difficulty in passing. Okay, difficulty due to the decreased peristalsis in the colon. Okay, this is the colon. Due to the decreased peristalsis, what happened? The stools won't be passed over to the next part of the digestive system. Last but not the least, we have about indigestion, that is condition leading to the feeling of fullness due to improper digestion. That is, you have taken in a lot of spicy food, you have taken in a lot of food, and what happens at the time of your lunch, at the time of your breakfast, before that itself your belly is full. So that time you will feel a fullness condition due to improper digestion. What you have taken already has not been digested, or there has not been enough time in between your meals, which leads to the improper digestion. It might be due to the anxiety, due to inadequate enzyme secretion, food poisoning, and spicy food. So that is a condition which is referred to as indigestion, guys. This sentence is a previous year MCQ question. Okay, so protein energy malnutrition, marasmus, and kwashiorkor we will discuss in the last. That is the next class. Next class, one more class would be there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This much classes are there. Look, we have completed the chapter of digestion and absorption. Done. Now the thing is there in your hand to study it in a proper manner. Since I have not got any kind of a proper response in today's class, I don't know whether you have understood the class really or not. But if you have any doubt, you are free to contact me through the Telegram, or else you can post your doubt on the public comment section. Done? Yes? So thank you guys. Bye-bye. Next class would be deficiency diseases plus the previous year question discussion. After that, you will have an NCERT marking, which would be recently covered. Okay, I know I have not completed the Animal Kingdom NCERT also, which also would be covered as per the time. Okay, as you all know, the cell chapter have been started yesterday. So you will have the lecture number 2, that is on the prokaryotic cell, on sharp at 4:15 p.m. today on the chapter Cell, the Unit of Life, and the further things, timetable, schedules, everything would be informed. So bye. If you have any doubt, don't feel shy to ask to me in Telegram or wherever you are familiar with. So bye guys. See you in the next class with a wonderful session.